So I thought that the most eventful thing to happen on my placement year was going to be when the Metropolitan line broke down with me still on it. But I don't think that anyone could have predicted 2020. Finally, with the end of the pandemic in sight, the conversation has turned to what the future of work will look like. Will it return to the office? Will it remain at home? Or maybe there'll be a blend of the two. I believe that you should have the right to choose how and where you work. The right to choose where you're most productive in the 21st century should be enshrined in law. Throughout history, technological innovations have replaced the old in almost every aspect of our life. The light bulb has outshone the gas lamp. Emails have written off posting letters, and Zoom has left the office behind in a cloud of dust. Earning a living from our home is now possible in the 21st century. Shouldn't we be allowed to do so? Digital offices allow employees to upgrade their hot desks for their own desks and trade the coalface for cyberspace. In the process, we can start transforming the climate, transforming the economy, and transforming our communities. Last year, international business meetings took place online for a fraction of the cost, in a fraction of the time, and in a fraction of the carbon emissions. 2.4 billion tons less CO2 than 2019. The largest relative fall since the Second World War. So why stop now? The fewer trips we take, the less pollution we make. The only path to a net zero future is by conducting business in the cloud. By forcing workers into the office, companies are neglecting their responsibility to sustainability. Digital offices are green offices, and digital offices are also equal offices. Our choice of work was once determined by where we lived. No longer. Without a commute, remaining tethered to a tube station would be the actions of someone with Stockholm syndrome. An Ipsos Mori poll has shown that the thing we're least looking forward to when restrictions end is the commute. Stuffing into a sticky and suffocating train quickly reminds us how soul-destroying the Northern Line is. Digital workers in a digital world can work anywhere in digital offices, including the North. Northern towns and northern cities come with northern house prices. A fast Wi-Fi speed is all you really need. By demanding the right to choose, we create demand in our communities, invigorating local economies and plugging the brain drain towards our cities. Increasing the number of virtual workers increases the number of virtual opportunities for the young, for the poor, and for the disenfranchised. Isolated rural towns finally get a fair fight when competing for the same opportunities as everyone else. Geography should no longer be a barrier to equality. Enshrining this right in law not only shrinks space, but also extends time. In a world without a commute, we can spend longer in our local community. If you want to save the high street, you need to have the time to shop in your high street. If you want to volunteer at a charity event, you need to have the time to volunteer at a charity event. And if you want people to have authority in your parish council, then they must have the time to be in the parish council. Allowing people to choose where to work could be the prelude to the greatest acts of citizenship seen in this century. A new era of local democracy dawns, the civic renaissance, where after so long away from loved ones, we embrace our neighbours in the same arms as our family. You cannot reconnect with your community when you're rushing to catch your connection, but a digital office connects you with the entire world. Of course, not everyone has been lucky enough to avoid commuting during the pandemic. For key workers, the right to choose is a bit tone deaf for those who didn't have a choice. But rather than empowering people to spend longer in bed, this is about empowering workers to seize solutions to 21st century problems. Climate change, regional inequality, community participation. Cutting out the commute has to be, must be, part of the solution. And I can't think of a bigger thank you to a key worker than giving up my space on the train. So far, I've argued that the right to choose should be enshrined in law, but the converted may not need preaching. Twitter, for example, have told their staff that they can work from home forever. However, any policies for remote working can be easily reversed should the CEO wish. Marissa Mayer banned Yahoo employees from working at home in 2013. If the privilege can be snatched away on a whim, humanity could never realize the dream of the digital office. You may see the BBC reporting that multi-million-pound office developers are saying people are tired of working from home. We're tired of doing everything from home, but let's not make the mistake of being shepherded back to bricks and mortar blindly. When the CEO of Goldman Sachs calls remote working an aberration, we see that the right to choose where to work is a luxury we cannot expect from our employers. It is a right that must be enshrined in law. On behalf of the future, I compel you of the past, let us choose how and where we work best. I've spelled out the changes that we need, not with a letter, but with a camera. I'm lighting the way, not with a candle, but with electricity. We should no longer just have to work in an office, but we should have the office work for us.